Hey everybody, so today we're going to be making some pho, but before we begin, we're going to talk about some of the differences between pho and ramen, and we're also going to get into a little bit of a history lesson. So, first things first, pho is a light Vietnamese noodle dish with an herbal broth and rice noodles. Ramen is a Japanese noodle dish with a hearty broth and wheat noodles. If you compare the two soups side by side, the noodles in pho are soft and translucent, and the noodles in ramen are firm and chewy. Pho broth is thin and clear, and ramen broth is usually thick and cloudy. The traditional aromatics in pho broth are black cardamom, whole cloves, fennel, coriander, cinnamon, and star anise. You're going to want to toast off those aromatics before you begin to increase the flavor. And you are going to want to then put them in cheesecloth or some type of satchel to keep your broth clear. If you'll be taking on the task of making your own beef broth, this is the ratio of aromatics you will need. The fascination with pho began in North Vietnam and later spread south during the Vietnam War in 1954. Over 800,000 refugees fled the war-torn north to settle in the more affluent areas in the south. This migration led to the evolution of two distinct types of regional pho. Pho bak, this northern pho, uses fewer ingredients and is known for a simple broth with a delicate flavor. It's served with thin slices of rare beef that cook in the hot broth, and garnishes are minimal. Pho nam. When pho came to the south, it became more complex. An abundance of produce in the region led to the addition of garnishes like basil, bean sprouts, and lime. And the broth can be seasoned with hoisin and sriracha. All right, let's make some pho. The first thing I'm doing is rinsing off this piece of London broil. And I'm just going to stick it in this Tupperware. And I've chosen this sticky chili and ginger marinade. So I'm just going to go ahead and put that whole bottle on. And this is actually going to stay a whole day. All right, now the day of, we are going to get into this beautiful bag of these extra large head-on South American shrimp. So I'm doing this for my mom since she's a vegetarian. Normally I would just be doing the beef, but I had to switch it up a bit. I'm going to go ahead, leave the heads on and the tails, peel all of these shrimp, give them a good rinse, and now I'm going to start deveining. So I'm just going to make one incision along the back on all of them. And then I go back and remove the you-know-what. Give them another rinse. Now I'm going to put them into this gallon-sized Ziploc bag, and I'll be making my own marinade in just 1 second. So for the marinade, I am going to put in one nice heaping spoonful of this miso paste. Just go ahead and put that right in the bag. Next, I'm going to be adding a little bit of soy sauce, about a tablespoon. Some sesame oil, and then I'm going to be adding some mirin as well, about another tablespoon or two. Then I'm going to seal up this bag, kind of move around this paste to get it with the liquids to make a nice marinade. And this will stay in the refrigerator until pretty much the very last second when we're ready to cook them for our pho. Next, while I'm waiting, I'm just going to go ahead and boil off some hard-boiled eggs. I know it's not traditional, but I want them in there. And now let's talk broth, which is the most important part. So you can go ahead and spend 3 hours making your own beef broth, but they sell some beautiful stuff now. They sell some ready-made pho broth. And they also sell these like pho bouillon cubes. So I'm going to be using 2 containers of this ready-made pho broth. And to kick it up a notch, I'm actually going to add half the water that it recommends and just one of these pho cubes. just to give it a little more flavor. All right, now let's move on to some of our accompaniments. So I'm just going to chop up some scallions. And I'm going to put those in a bowl, set those aside for later when we're assembling our pho bowls. And next, I'm also going to take some bean sprouts, put them in a bowl as well, just wash them and set them aside as well. The next thing I've chosen to add is some ginger because I love ginger and I can't get enough of it. So I'm going to go ahead and just peel one nice hunk of ginger. And after it is all peeled, I'm going to go ahead and try to slice this as thin as humanly possible. And I basically julienned it. So we're just going to go ahead and put that in a little bowl too, set that aside until we're assembling our pho bowls. Then I have this beautiful little baby bok choy, and I'm going to go ahead and cut them in half. So I only need 4 halves for our 4 bowls, and the rest I'm going to cook as a side dish. So I've gone ahead and placed them all into a little pot. And now I'm going to cook our noodles. I'm using these Thai rice noodles. These cook pretty quickly, about 5 to 6 minutes. And now it's time to get our grill pan ready for our beautiful shrimp. Look at that marinade. It's been about 8 or 10 hours on that marinade. Gorgeous. All right, next we are going to cut up some fresh basil. And that's going to be the last garnish, and you can't forget the lime. So after washing that lime, because it's going to go in the bowl, just go ahead and cut wedges or whatever shape you like. Here is our meat that's been marinating for a day. And we're going all out with this one. We're going to throw it on the grill outside. I didn't want to do fully raw meat, so I'm going to grill it first. We're going to let this rest for a minute. And while it's resting, we're going to go ahead and assemble our little side dish of bok choy. So I'm putting some soy sauce on here. And then some sesame oil. It's one of my favorite things in life. Honestly, there can never be enough. Then some Thai fried onions. And for good measure, dried bonito flakes. I'm going to go ahead and put this whole packet on there. And that's our side dish. After the meat is rested, thinly slice it. Now we can begin assembling our bowls. We have our beef, our bok choy, our scallions, bean sprouts. I'm going to put a little pinch of ginger there in the center. I overcooked my eggs, but whatever. Eggs. And now you want that broth raging, boiling. I had extra shrimp, so I added a couple. And the noodles. And here is my mom's all-vegetarian one. Or pescatarian, I should say. Don't forget the lime wedges and the basil. It's imperative. And here is our gorgeous finished product. And of course, some sriracha sauce. Hope you guys enjoyed this pho video. It is absolutely a labor of love, I will tell you that. It's a lot of work, but absolutely delicious and worth it. Until the next video, stay blessed, my friends. I love each and every one of you.